Hello everyone, you're welcome to my channel. Today I share how to make bulk jollof rice that is absolutely delicious. Here I made about 120 packs of party jollof rice, Naija party flavor, right? So I'm going to take you through step-by-step procedure of achieving a great jollof rice. All right, so I actually started a day earlier to prepare things and keep, so you understand this better. Here I fried the tin tomato, and here are the ingredients I used to season the chicken. Here I did this a day earlier. Season the chicken for the next day. Season the chicken, right? And cook and strain the water and keep to be fried the next day. So I have beef, I have chicken in a larger pot, and I have these other chicken that I thought they were larger than the other ones. So I had to cook them in a separate pot for me not to have some that are done and some that are not done. So here I'm seasoning everything in the pot all together. I've gone the first round to add salt. The second round I'm adding seasoning cubes. Yeah, and the third round I'm going to be adding curry. I use lots of curry for my seasoning because I won't be adding all of this in the main dish, right? So I take an advantage to ensure that my chicken tastes really good. So I tend to add all these in the meat. I'm adding Cameroon pepper here for a little bit of heat, right? And then I'm also adding to this third pot. And then the next thing I'm adding is onion. I'm adding blended onion, right? Of course, to the 3 pots. And then finally I'll be adding ginger extract, fresh ginger extract. I'm doing that, right? I won't need to add ginger and all that again in the main dish, right? So I stir it to ensure that the meat properly absorbs all the ingredients. So I'm stirring it all together, and of course I'm cooking immediately. I don't even need to leave till for a while and all. I'm cooking immediately, and my chicken tastes really good all the time. If you have eaten my chicken before in this life, testify in the comment section. Let everybody know that the Lord is good, So here I am. If you've not eaten my chicken before, say hi. You don't know if it melts the way you are. So right, I'm bringing it to a boil. I didn't add water. I used just the chicken stock and all the other water, ginger extract, the onion. So now I have cooked to a certain level. Here I'm not turning everything at the same time, right? Just one after the other to ensure that it doesn't break. This is soft chicken, so I added water and cooked it for another 10 minutes. And after it's done, I'm straining it from the water now. And then I'll keep this, right? Yes, follow through carefully. Now, the next thing I'll be doing is to blend the pepper mix, the tatashi, otherwise called bell peppers, and the chili pepper and onion. Right, this is the base of the rice. And then I brought that to a boil. And in another pot, there is this other mix that is just pepper and onion. I'm going to be using this to sauce my chicken, right? Okay. And one of the things I also prepared and kept the previous day is carrots, because I used it garnish. So I actually I actually sliced the carrots a day earlier, and I did that off camera. So this is the next morning, and I have this pot ready to fry my chicken, and right, it's right here. The oil is heating already, and I have the chicken stock that I warmed and kept after cooking, and I have this other pepper mix for the jollof rice that I cooked, remember, and I have this one to sauce the chicken, and I have the fried tin tomato that I fried to keep. Now my oil is hot. Now the secret to having a chicken that is all browny and looking so good and moist on the inside is to fry it in a very hot oil. So that is what I'm doing right now. I allowed the oil to be very hot, and I fried this in a matter of a few seconds. far less than a minute, just about 30 seconds, and the heat has already dealt with the chicken and the chicken is ready. If you do this, you're going to save your chicken will not get soaked. It won't get soggy, right? It won't get soaked up in the oil, right? So you have less oil, and this is after frying. And what you do after each fry is that you allow the oil to heat up again before you put the next batch, and make sure it is not overcrowded, right? So after doing that, I'm actually washing the rice now with hot water and salt, right? So I'm doing that, and I strain this and keep, and then we're about to start the cooking proper after doing all this. So I have here salt, I have the seasoning cubes, I have jollof rice spice and fried rice spice, I have onion, and I have a little crayfish. I use just a teaspoon of this in each pot. I used about 3 pots, right? So I started cutting my onion, and I'm done with that already. Pot is on fire. This is the oil I actually use to fry the chicken, right? So I'm using it I'm frying the tomato paste again. That you remember I'd fried it the previous day, so I'm just trying to be sure that everything is perfect to ensure that there is no sour taste at all. So just a little bit of time, right? And then I'm adding the pepper mix, which is the tatashi, the shombo, the onion, and a little bit of pepper, right? So here I am stirring it, and it's drying up, and I'm going to be adding these spices, not spices actually, but just this things you saw on the table earlier, which is the salt, the seasoning cube, right, the onion, and just a full tablespoon of crayfish, right? Remember I said I cooked this in 3 pots. I didn't want to overcrowd it in one pot. So if you try to overcrowd in a large pot, sometimes some part gets done and some part doesn't get done, right? Okay, so but if you have a large pot that serves better, why not? You can go ahead. So I choose to use 3 different pots to cook this, right? So I'm adding all that, and I'm frying. I'm sorry, my background is a little bit noisy. I'm sorry, but at this point I added the chicken stock, right, and then I added the seasoning cubes, right, like I said earlier, and I'm adding water, the fried rice spice. Yes, I added all that. So I tested to ensure that everything was perfect, the seasoning, the salt, and all, right? And then I'm going to cover it to boil before I add the rice. I want to appreciate you for staying through it all. You're going to learn something new. If you've learned something new, say hi in the comment section. And then if you've not yet subscribed to my channel, please do so. Click the like button, leave a comment to encourage me, right? And click the subscribe button. Thank you so much. At this point, I'm covering it to this video is as real as possible. Remember, I'm a food vendor, so this is actually how I go about cooking my jollof rice. So you're going to be seeing some things that are not too all framed up. It's as real as possible, right? So I'm adding the rice now, and then at the end of the day I'll test again to ensure that the ingredient is perfect, right? I'm stirring in, and then at this point I asked one of my staff to get the sack bag ready. I'm going to be using sack bag to cover, to trap the heat, right? So my rice doesn't come out soggy. It's going to come out singly at the end of the day, and super yummy, right? So I finished turning. I tested to see that everything is absolutely good. At this point you adjust if you need more salt and all. And then I'm not always in a hurry to add salt because of the stock and all. It had salt and all the seasoning, so salt most times is the last thing I add. So I cover it for the water to dry up a little bit, right? And then I came to cover with the sack bag I told earlier. This is just a regular rice bag that I wash, I ensure that it's completely clean, and then I'm using it to cover to trap the heat, like I mentioned earlier. Right, like I said, it's going to be as real as possible. We didn't frame up anything here. It's a sack bag that we use. Because the cover of the pot is actually large, so using a foil paper, I don't know how many layers you're going to use to achieve to be able to cover it well. So I decided to use that instead. So at this point, I turned it and I realized that my rice wasn't soft enough. So I added a little more water at this point. It is better to cook and it's not soft and you add water than for you to add too much water and it comes out soggy at the end of the day. Right. So these and all these are the things we do to ensure that we deliver correct party jollof all the time on a constant basis. All right. And then do not forget that if you're going to plan for a party or you have food delivery to make, if you're a food vendor or maybe just want to host a party in your home, there are some things you just need to prepare and keep the day before. Those are the things I actually did in the first few minutes of this video. Things I did the previous day. So at this point, I'm coming in to check again, and I've realized that the rice is done, but we have one more step to go. Do not go away. Right, so at this point I went ahead to fry the carrot. Remember the carrot we scraped the previous day? I went ahead to fry it. After scraping, we cut it and kept in the freezer. And now I'm frying it with a little oil, right? With a little oil and salt, seasoning cube and curry, just that, right? And that is done, and I set it aside to cut the onion in round shape as seen in this video. Right, and I want to add it to the already cooked rice, but it's still on fire, though I haven't turned up the heat yet. I've added the onion, I've added I've added some margarine. I'm adding the already fried carrots just to garnish it. All right, so this rice is not just the regular jollof rice. It came out so absolutely delicious. Follow this recipe and you can never fail getting your party jollof rice for events. So at this point, I fried remember the sauce I said is for the chicken? I fried it and it is ready. And I added the spring onion to garnish it, right. And at this point, the rice is ready. So I'm trying to ensure that all the rice tastes the same. So I picked a little from each pot, mixed it together, added some more carrots to garnish, and that's what I did. And we got ready. At this point, we started getting ready, displaying the plates that we'll use to pack the rice. And we actually packed 120 plates of smoky party jollof rice that is absolutely delicious. Thank you so much for staying through. Let me know where you're watching me from so I can give you a shout out in my next video. Thank you so much. Bye. See you. Bye.
Like